Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. I have to make sure that my... Okay, we're good. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. My name's Aqua779. Tristan, Dad's a lot of whatever you like to call me. Apparently, Papa Qua has become a new nickname. I do gaming content, and I talk to people on the internet. Hello. I'm a former cult member, former Jehovah's Witness, so I try to make this a safe place for everybody, but I do talk about theology, politics, religion, and philosophy. That coffee is hot. Not coffee, my hot chocolate. Hello, this old helmet. Hello, Democratic Jumper. I'm playing Project Zomboid today. Bitch. Okay. If any of you were wondering what the cup is like, yes, it is in fact the wind. Do not ask me why I have this cup. My friend gave it to me. Starry-eyed tiger, it's Aqua time. Teenage Mutant Ninja Aquas, Axel's on a shell, Axel power. Thank you, Starry. Baller DJ says, I like turtles. Hello. Do you like turtles? Turtles are neat. I'm a big fan of reptiles in general. I wanted to try to get a tortoise for a long time. I wanted to get a tortoise for a while. But I do want an axolotl. If I'm going to get a well, axolotls are amphibians. Yay! Man, it's nice to see one of my favorite mods in the chat as well. Starry of the Eye of the Tigers. I got a crap ton of stuff for my birthday. Oh, I'm glad. Yes, that is a happy birthday to the Democratic Jumper, too. Shall we all wish him a happy birthday? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Democratic Jumper. Happy birthday to you. They have free tortoises at the zoo. You just have to go at night. Man, from that perspective, everything is free. You just have to go at night. You needed a theme song? My theme song is this. Wait, I have a theme song. It's called Digital Milestones. Backed up by Neon Thrills. Digital Milestones, backed up by Harris Heller and then Neon Thrills by Luke Hash. Since when? Since literally the beginning of the channel. I got a Blight Lord Terminator. Ooh, fun. Also, Odin likes his new thing. Soldier Rad with the 85 stream streak. Holy crap. I know I've been streaming almost every single day. But that's nearly 3 months of making sure he makes it up to every single one of my streams. Holy shiza. Wow. I don't think anybody's going to beat Soldier Rat at this point. Only person who comes close is fucking his amore. Starry. It's been 85 years. Since it's my birthday, can I please join the Discord call? I'm not in the Discord call, but you're allowed to say one thing. You are allowed... join the general VC. I will say happy birthday to you directly. And then, that will be my birthday gift to you. You VIP that man now. Absolutely. Actually, I could VIP him. Happy birthday, Democratic Jumper. Are you enjoying this parasocial experience?
What?
Are you enjoying the parasocial experience?
Don't know what that word means, but sure.
Excellent. I'm glad to have you. Bye. I see him. Yeah, he's right there, hiding. I love the voice. Pet the god cat. We can pet the god cat. Oh, there's a cat licking his paw. Space Shuttle 40. Yes, there is. Hello. The people wish to see you. This is Odin. That was Democratic Jumper. Me wishing him a happy birthday. What is parasocial? Parasocial is regarding someone where you observe them, but they don't observe you, really. Nice voice demo. Oh, he's got a British voice. Of course he's going to have a good voice. Okay, we're playing Project Zomboid. Let me get things set up to play it. There we go. We love a good accent, of course. The volume, it's good too. Alright, so we fucking died. It was unpleasant. But we have a whole bunch of new spawn points. Tons of them. Speaking of zoos, when I was in Afghanistan, I found out the Kabul Zoo used to have a lion. A man entered the enclosure and was eaten. His brother later took revenge and threw a grenade at the lion. Oh, wow. We capture wild animals, and then we get upset when they do stuff. Jesus. That's depressing as fuck. I'm gonna try this Phallus Lake. Never been here, we might die. Yeah, I know, right? I despise that. Also, I got 150 pounds! The demo giving Aqua a hard time for me while I'm gone. No, don't you dare. Gonna spend on a Lego. Lego is Danish. Part of my heritage. Okay, we're gonna see how Phallus Lakes do on these sides. That little bro, that was a talk between comrades. Shush. No. Absolutely not. If I shushed, would I be the type to be a streamer? With a 7-stream streak. How tall is the average intercessor? Aren't they only like 20, 25 feet? I don't know. I know they're not as big as people. They're not like Pacific Rim levels of big. Oh, so this is Phallus Lake. is particularly nasty. Holy shit! But God commandeth his love toward us, and that while we are yet sinners, Christ died for us. Yeah, that is a cool story. Also, how can God be loved based on what he's done? Oh, I'm dead. The average Space Marine, with or without armor. With or without armor, Democratic Jumper. We're not going to Phallus Lake, by the way, because holy crap. No. With armor? If I recall, they're 9 feet tall. 9 to 12 feet tall, depending on the Space Marine. Because there are some Space Marines that are pretty massive, and like the Space Sharks are pretty big. But if I recall, they're 9 to 12. Then my Blight Lord Terminator must be... Well, Terminators are something different. Terminators are big. Yeah, they're going to be 15 feet. Terminators are massive, too. Right? Terminators are not your average Space Marine. Nor do they have the same armor. Terminator armor is different than normal Space Marine armor. I also find it funny that Christians feel the need, whenever they see an atheist space, they feel the need to preach. Like, they are compelled to tell their story. Like, they need to, like, oh my god, there's an atheist. Oh my god, I have to make sure I say my things. Wait, you're not allowed to spawn in here with me. Get him, 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 get him. Wait, why did I got hurt? Okay, the zombie settings for this are pretty insane. Holy crap! Did something change in the spawning? Because I don't even get 2 seconds. God forbid a girly be an atheist in peace. Jam! It's been so wild. Mate, I am sick and tired of random ass Christians going to depressed comment sections like if someone has cancer says, don't worry, God will heal you. Yeah, they'll heal you, alright. What does God need with a spaceship? Okay, let's try this again, because holy crap. The zombies are so much worse with these spawn settings. I would like spawning where I don't get immediately murdered on impact. Who's the tallest Space Marine? It's a Space Shark. I forget his name, but I believe it's a Space Shark, and he's like as big as a Primarch. Just because of his genetic mutation. guys! I walk outside, and this is what I am greeted to. Okay, I'm dead. I'm curious, if I just start with a new character... Cool. 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 Alright, somehow we got out of that nonsense. And going onto his leg? I mean, it's... My guy, it's Nurgle. Why are you questioning things about Papa Nurgle? Okay. Are we praying that nobody is in this area here? Yes. Is it likely that nobody is here? Nope. But I'm going to hope. Oh my god. Nobody is here. Nobody. Doesn't look like anybody's inside either. Hallelujah. Now, if an alarm goes off... I did not look at it. I am playing the game, Democratic Jumper. I am currently in the middle of a game. Okay. Maybe later? Yeah, I'll look at it later, don't you worry. But I'm currently busy playing a game. They were neat. Who's Papa Nurgle? You play Warhammer and you don't know who Nurgle is? I've heard of him. Isn't he in charge of the Death Guard? He is one of the 4 Chaos Gods. He's more than in charge of the Death Guard. That Mortarion is the Primarch in charge of the Death Guard. Nurgle is a chaos god. That's Mortarion's boss. So what is a Death Guard? Is it a zombie? What is it? A Death Guard is a Space Marine that has been given the blessing of Nurgle. And I put blessing in very high quotation marks because, you know, it's not a fun time being... I mean, being blessed by Nurgle is good until you stop being loved by Nurgle. And, yeah, if you are blessed by Nurgle, you get a lot of mutations. Yeah. The joys of being blessed by Nurgle. Looks fun, not gonna lie. Wait until you see Slanesh. Although, the one that would get me is Tzeentch. Tzeentch would be my absolute weakness. I know Slanesh, yeah. Nurgle is older than Nurgle is the oldest Chaos God. Then it's Tzeentch, then it's Khorne, then it's Slanesh. Slanesh. You want to see Slanesh? Not really. And Slanesh is not just about sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Going to make my own YouTube overlay for live. Former cult member now might be able to form a sentence. And now what? Now might be able to form a sentence. I mean, my YouTube overlay is fun. It brings in the best kinds of people, Jam. You have to understand, with YouTube, it's all engagement bait. Because with Twitch, like, people are coming to see what you're playing, right? Like, that's to be expected. But with YouTube, they're just going to be randomly doom scrolling. So then you kind of need to do something that's like, oh, by the way, this is what I am. And then they comment. And then you lose all faith in humanity. It's a snail. Oh, that's adorable. But yeah, when it comes to YouTube comments, like, it was surprisingly easy to develop a kind of community with it. Like, that's how I found Democratic Jumper, it's how I found This Old Helmet, it's how I found Toby Rudd, it's how I found a lot of different people. And then I find those types of people that take offense to the fact that atheists exist. And those always provide an interesting conversation, because not only A, does it hone my ability to critically think, because either A, they bring something new to me, which is rare, but it does happen, or B, I get to make fun of it. Either way, it's a win-win. The way you froze after you read, did I freeze? Die, 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 die! Can I get you to the window? Clashed Roman. Romans 5:8 says, "But God commands his love towards us, and that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us." Is there Christian bots going on the same time? Did he die for you, or did he die for political reasons? Because I'm under the impression that Jesus died for political reasons. He claimed to be the king of the Jews. Pontius Pilate was like, ah, fuck that, I'm not dealing with this upstart. And had him executed. Oh, come on! Hopefully there's no one else in here. Oh, come on! Laceration, bleeding. Jesus died so he would be saved and carried the weight of our sins on the cross. Do you got a source for that? Remember, that's the claim. I don't believe God exists, so you telling me that some god did a magical thing is like telling me that Zeus did a thing because the Iliad told you so. Like, that's not evidence for me. I go onto videos talking about crap about Roblox, find the kids who are and make... Yeah, kids with Roblox. Okay. Well, we have Naked Aqua. Half Naked Aqua. Oh, piss. But do you agree with the statement that Jesus was a historical figure? If so, what do you think he did? Jesus is a historical figure. He died. He died for political reasons. It's the closest we have to understanding of what he is. Right? He was a doomsday preacher around the Levant. The earliest known writings from him, not from him, but about him, came 40 years after he died. And then the closest outside sources outside of the Gospels came like 70 years after he died. The earliest known depiction of Jesus outside of the Gospels is actually graffiti found in Pompeii of a donkey-headed man on a cross, and it says something like, I forget the guy's name, but it says blanks God. So like, he was a historical person, but I also found a porn room. Being a historical figure and saying that they're magical figures are two very different things. For instance, I believe, I'm very sure that Alexander the Great existed. Alexander the Great had one of the largest empires for its time and one of the most fastest growing empires ever to exist. Do I think he was a demigod? John was a witness of the Christ on the cross who wrote about it when he saw it during the moment in the book of John. The book of John was not written by the John who witnessed Christ on the cross. Because John was written 70 years after Jesus' death. I'm dealing with something else, Democratic Jumper. If I haven't gotten to your point yet, it's because I'm focusing on something else, Democratic Jumper. I like you, but you are not the focal point of every single chat, Democratic Jumper. I will get to your comments when I can. Anyways, I am very excited to see what Artemis 4 does. Also, no weapons in here. Bitch. I was not ignoring you. I found a gun. I think we're gonna die. I want to go to the moon? That'd be cool. Where's the historical evidence for the book being made that long after Christ's death? Several. The dominant academic view is that the book was written late, between 85 to 90, 900 to 100 years. Some think that it could have been 70 CE, which still would be 40 years after he died, right? Our earliest evidence of this is for the Ryland Library Papyrus at P52, right? Dated around 125, right? It is also written later and differs in content from the other books, right? So if you look at Jesus' last words in John, versus Jesus' last words in Mark, if you look at how the Romans are appreciated under that, Google for answer is cheating. He wants historical evidence for the book, right? I have to go to the historical evidence. Right? I have to go get the historical evidence. Right? He asked for, he wanted some objective information. It's not that hard. You could do this. It's not that hard. Jesus could have been evil? Out of all the historical creatures, Jesus was probably not horrible. But where's your historical but a better question is, where's your historical evidence that it was written any closer to Jesus' death? Like, the contextual analysis of John itself. Look at the difference between, like, this is not me Googling, because this is fun. Because I know this. Is that, is because, like, look at, once again, how the Romans were viewed. The Romans in John versus in Mark, the Romans were evil. The Romans were the bad guy. But in John, they're sympathetic people who don't understand that they just need to be brought to Christ. It's actually the Pharisees who are evil, right? Different propaganda, different timing, different ideas, different theology, especially since that Jesus never came back. So they had to come up with a different type of theology. Anyways, I have crashed so many Kerbals. Oh, Kerbal Space Program is cute. Anyways, I'm going to go die now. Because this run is fecked. And then I'm going to restart. But yeah, it's like Googling the answer for historical evidence. It's like, oh yes, I'm not allowed to look up. Is the problem of evil the reason you don't believe? It's one of the reasons.
Subscribe to Democratic Jumper, or else a 500-kilogram bomb will be under your bed tonight.
I see you. Anyways, shall we go die? Naked and afraid. Clipping that and using it to get people to sub. Alright. Okay. I tried. Dead. Okay, let's try this again. I'm having the pizza. I'm glad. But yeah, let's actually, before we switch, let's go through some more of the historical, right? We have Bart Ehrman courses online, right? When was the Gospel of Jesus written, right? my cat has a bad ear. Oh no. So the gospel displays accurate and detailed knowledge of Jerusalem before being destroyed by the Romans in AD 70. So it's strong evidence for John writing this before AD 70 from my research. So you're going against the entire academic field? Right? What did you have to go in to find this? Jam, thank you for the subscription. Like, what? Like, oh my god, it has detailed knowledge of Jerusalem before being destroyed by the Romans, so it had to be written before that. That is not strong evidence whatsoever. The Romans have detailed knowledge of Jerusalem before being destroyed. Before destroying it. Like, what? And the screen is a zombie? Yes, I'm aware. Is bartender a guy who works at a bar or a guy who ends people called Bart? Who knows? So John was written by the Romans? John was written by a Roman sympathizer. John was definitely written by a Roman sympathizer. If it was an actual Roman, we don't exactly know who wrote it. We probably will never know who exactly wrote it. Right? It's attributed to John, but it's certainly not John, the disciple of Jesus. Like, look at the, once again, read the difference between how the Romans are viewed in John versus in Mark. Because Mark is the first one. Right? Mark was definitely, like, as far as we know, the first one. Most definitely. Right? There are some that think it could be earlier, but that's not good. Just found this out. According to tradition and historical accounts, the Apostle John died around 100 AD, roughly making him roughly 90 to 95 years old. Historical accounts? Which historical accounts? Which, like, sure, you could see according to tradition, but tradition means nothing to me. Historical accounts mean a lot. Tradition makes it because of how old that, how new that book was. Yeah, right now, like, we have P52, which is later, right? But especially with, like, the historical context of how it was written. Also, Jesus' prophecy didn't come true, eh? This generation will by no means pass away. When the Son of Man will return. Not the generations triggered. I know you, Jam. I know you'd like that one. Saber has sent help. For some reason, I decided to build a full-on town now. Good job. I can't wait for your ADHD post-nut clarity. You're going to get halfway building this, realize how much you've decided to build and how much time you need to access it, and then you're going to give up. Like all other projects with your ADHD, Sabereth. Shame. Large up papa qua and the folk them. Yes, hello. I've already had that thought. I'm still going. I think the meds are working. Well, that's good. Yeah. There's a lot more than just tradition to understanding the Bible. There's a lot more to understanding the Bible, right? It's an interesting historical book, but you have to remove the magic from it, and then the actual interesting stuff starts. But removing the magic from it will make people uncomfortable. Anyways, let's go again. This is difficult. So the main problem I have is that sprinters get me. And acknowledge the context, yeah. Right? Once again, so it's interesting, watching Bart Ehrman's stuff and a few other stuff, right? And like, there's another YouTube channel that I really like watching too. Data Over Dogma. Data Over Dogma is run by a Mormon, and Bart Ehrman is a Christian. These guys are both religious. And yet they are the ones that are saying, yeah, no, this couldn't be true. Right? Like, if I'm looking at the facts, I'm looking at what's actually being said, look at the actual historical evidence, and making actual conclusions based on what the actual facts are, right? So, many biblical scholars do that. Many biblical scholars themselves are Christian. They just follow the facts, right? And data over dogma. That doesn't mean everything's solved. That doesn't mean we know everything there is to be about the Bible. Like I said, we don't know who wrote John. We don't know who exactly wrote these books, like the actual person. Because lots of times you attribute these things to other people, right? But we do know that the Christians had to survive the idea that Jesus wasn't coming back. Right? So they had to develop a new theology around, oh, he's talking about something else. Because at the time, and you can see it in Mark, some people were like, oh yeah, he's coming back like right away to save Israel. Because the first Christians were not Christians. They were Jews. They were Jewish people. Right? Jesus wasn't trying to make a new religion. Jesus was a Jew. He had some different interpretations of it, but he wasn't trying to make a new religion. Found Porta now stuck in his coon cave. Man, could you imagine? Can you define good and evil? Tell me what is you're objecting to with the problem of evil? Is it just opinion? I am a secular humanist, so the idea of good and evil, the idea is good in general is the idea of working together and coming to either compromises or solving problems to be able to benefit the most amount of people, benefit everybody, not just the most amount of people, but everybody. Evil is the erosion and the erosion of other people's rights to live the life how they see fit, right? And the attacking for it, right? The complete disregard and lack of empathy of other people is evil. That's how I would define evil. But the problem of evil, once again, Christians make a claim that God is all-powerful, all-good, all-knowing. And then God does this. There is no objective. The objective is everybody is benefiting. Right? That is their objective. That is the objective, is making everybody benefit. Does not compute, by the way. Jesus was a Jew, but the difference between Christians and Jews is that Jews believe Jesus was a false prophet and Christians believe Jesus was a god and not a false prophet. I am well aware of what Christians and Jews believe, but what did Jesus believe? Right? We see from the text clearly he was a Jew. Right? What did Jesus believe? Take a look, remove all the dogma, remove all the magical understanding, put yourself in the shoes of the people at the time. There is actually growing academic ideas that Jesus never himself stated to be a god. Jesus never stated outright to be a god for a few different reasons. A, the context around the book, where Christians claim that he is saying he is God, can refer to other things, especially with the language being used. And number two, if he did, the Pharisees would have every legal right to immediately murder him on the spot. Like, that would be the legal right that they would have. If they heard him say it once, they'd have every legal right to immediately execute him. So there's good reason, there's academic reasons to say that Jesus never believed he himself was God, right? Anyways, that is not objectively right. Yeah, because I'm not looking for objectiveness. With atheism, there is still evil. With theism, there is still evil. Doesn't matter. Sure. It doesn't matter. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. So he did. Are you sure? That's him saying he is God. Are you sure? Because that's also talked about the law. Right? Obviously, the people in that time set didn't think that was him saying he was God. Because once again, if he did say that, he would be immediately stoned to death for blasphemy. Immediately. They didn't have to go through a trial. They didn't have to go through that. If someone was doing that, you could stone them to death. Jesus wouldn't be crucified. He would have been stoned to death. But no, the Romans killed him because he was the king of the Jews. Anyways, that is, like I said, I'm not like saying that's for sure. That's a thing that happened. But what I'm saying is the fact that there is any sort of contention shows to me that I have no reason to believe that Jesus turned water into wine. Or resurrected. He's the way, the truth, the life. That he is the Messiah. That he is going to be able to bring people, that he's going to bring the Jews out of Roman tyranny. That's one way. Hello, Roman Catholics. Anyways, the fact that there is even a discussion is the point that I cannot, for the life of me, say that there's anything inerrant about the Bible. But at what objectively standard are you measuring the problem of evil? It is an opinion of society, but that is still an opinion. That is, there is objectively evil, because how else can you say evil is wrong? Because we have these feelings. They are subjective in nature. Right? They are subjective in nature. But if someone is coming up to you and saying, I have an objective good and evil, and then go in such a way that is absolutely horrifying, aka genocide, do you think that that logically makes sense? That if you have objective good, you would do something that everybody would consider to be horrifying? The problem is the claim. I am denying your claim of there being objective good. Then because now you're trying to say that there is objective good and evil, right? Now you're going into a different area entirely. Anyways, what about when he says that no other person can come through the Father except through him? How does that get interpreted different? A lot of times you can interpret it that he is the Messiah. He is still the Messiah. But the Jewish version of the Messiah is different than how the Christians have viewed the Messiah. And how Christians have viewed the Messiah is different throughout history. Right? Christianity is not a monolith. Even the oldest forms of Christianity have changed. Orthodoxy, Catholicism, they are not the same as they were 100 years ago, and they were not the same as they were 100 years before that. And they were not the same as they were 100 years before that, and they were not the same as 100 years before that, and so on and so forth. A lot of our understandings about religion comes from our interpretation of it based on the modern interpretation of it. It is anachronistic to think that your interpretation is the same as those in the first century. Oh God, here we go. Please no sprinters, please no sprinters, please no sprinters, please no sprinters. 2 sprinters, of course. Jesus Christ. Like, it's so fucking hard, man. Oh, and I hear another sprinter. More research. Jesus reveals his divinity through his ministry, primarily in the Gospel of John. Interesting that the Gospel of John says that. First of all, the Gospel of John, the one that's already been established to be the latest in all of the Gospels, the furthest removed from Jesus. And then I Am also has a different idea. I'd suggest looking at, there's a wonderful video from Data Over Dogma that talks about this. That goes into really the detail of it. which is really, really fun and really, really interesting. The fact that you can talk about it, right? The fact that you can bring it up. Yeah, did Jesus claim to be God? Data over dogma, right? It's a fascinating one that goes into a lot more of the a lot more depth and detail than I can, because I'm not a Bible theologian. What I'm saying is that you can, there is not an exact understanding, so that just kind of throws a wrench into the idea of inerrancy. Objectively speaking, there's no standard atheism can appeal to in a problem of evil because it is an opinion. But when talking about theism through an atheistic lens, it is no problem. You can't say something is evil in atheism. You can, because atheism does not equate materialism, right? Atheists can be a very wide range of different people, right? It's a wide range of different beliefs, wide range of different understandings. Now, I can say that there's a problem with it because it does not logically make sense that an all-powerful, all-good, and all-loving creature would do the stuff that's in the Bible. It doesn't make any sense. Yes, it is an opinion, but that from that opinion doesn't make any sense. But yes, I am a materialist. Objectively speaking, there is no standard atheism can appeal to in the problem of evil. I am a secular humanist, though. Within that idea, it doesn't make any. There is no idea where genocide is ever okay. Right? There are some moral axioms that I work off of. Right? These are, yes, they are a feeling, and yes, there are some people that will disagree with that, but it is delusional to disagree with certain parts of that, right? I believe that everybody has the right to life, the right to, live their life how they see fit. But it's delusional to think that right to live how you see fit overcomes another person's ability to do that. Secular humanism, genocide, is not good, right? And the fact that you're trying to defend that genocide leads me to believe that there is no way that you are being helped by an all-powerful, all-knowing, and all-loving creator. Does not make sense. Like, it's logically does not follow, and it also just feels bad. It feels wrong. It feels absolutely wrong. And I'm not afraid to say feeling, because at that point we're walking outside logic. We're working outside that. It feels wrong. Feels horrifying. But logically, it also is delusional. Off-topic question. Do you think that there's evil in Christianity? Do you think that a true Christian can still be evil? And what sorts of evil? I think you can be rational and be a Christian. You can be Christian and be rational. Like, they're not mutually exclusive things. But, original sin and the idea that you were born sinful is horrible and horrifying. A true Christian can definitely still, like a true Christian, there's no such thing, I don't think there is such a thing as a true Christian. Christian is a label that we give people, or like people give themselves, right? It's a label saying that I'm a follower of Christ. We've had many different types of followers of Christ throughout all of history. There's no way to make a true Christian. There's no such thing. There are Christians. It is a subjective thing. So, yes, Christians can still be evil, even if they believe that they are wholeheartedly following Jesus. Think about the Crusades. Anyways, have I survived? For now. But if you have an objective standard of morals, wouldn't that be great? Would it? There's a lot of things that would be great. Wouldn't it be great if we could round pi to 3? Like, wouldn't it be great if pi was 3? There'd be so much easier calculations we could do. Wouldn't it be great if this impossible thing was there? Wouldn't it be great if Superman was real? Wouldn't it be great if my cat could talk to me and so that I know that what he actually wants? Like there's a lot of things that'd be great. Doesn't make it more true just because it would be nice. Just use religion thought process and pi can round to 3 if you wanted to. The calculations would kill me. Would you rather gain weight or gain eagers? Oh, I see. Gain, yeah, that's cool. So are you being like racist here? Like, is that the point you're trying to make? Are you just being racist? You have one chance to explain what eagers are. One chance. If you want to define that. Because I'm not a fan of racism in the slightest. Always. Oh, so you're being racist? Is just making sure. Like, I want to be said. Are you being racist? Like, is that the point you're trying to make? Are you being racist? Just want to make double sure. Just want to make a double sure. Because, you know, I despise people like you. The world would be a better place if you were removed from society. I say true Christians because a Christian who truly follows the Bible. If a Christian... Okay, I'll finish your sentence before I comment. Yes, I am. Oh, great! Get removed from everything. And I never want to see you again. Never want to see you again. There is nothing about you that deserves anything to be around here. Anyways, Jesus wants us to love one another unconditionally and that he wants all of us to be there with him. The reason Christians share the Gospels out of love for one another. That's a neat story. But truly following the Bible. Do we mean truly following the Bible? Are we including the Old Testament? Because I certainly don't want to be friends with anybody who follows the Old Testament. Oh, but no, don't worry. We don't have to use the Old Testament. We just have the New Testament. Oh, man. Women aren't allowed to speak. Being a slave is a good thing. Also, never commented on that slavery is a bad thing. Or, like, should be banned or removed. Or you shouldn't be... In fact, the New Testament says you should be a slave for Christ. Using imagery of slavery as a good thing. Ooh. Not my thing. But genocide is an opinion, right? You are measuring evil through feelings. Does not point to objectively... No. It does the exact opposite. Because some people feel that genocide is okay. But I'm talking also on the lines of delusion, right? I try not to be delusional. It is delusional to think that genocide is okay. Because if you think that it is necessary to do genocide, then everybody else has the right to do genocide to you. But people don't feel that way. So that confliction is not very good. It's delusional. You can't argue with people like that. It's not good for society to have that idea. Anyways, the reason Christians share the gospel is out of love for one another. Yeah, so share it for the Christians. Random thought that bothers me. You know the 7-Eleven logo? Why is the 11 capitalized, but the N isn't? Crap bothers me. I have never thought about the 7-Eleven logo that hard in my entire life. At no point in my life have I ever thought about the 7-Eleven logo that hard. So you think you need a law of good and evil even though it is just opinion? I didn't say that. What I'm saying is that good and evil are subjective terms. However, we construct our societies around what we think is good and evil. A good society is going to make sure that things can be changed, things can be understood. And that things can be improved, right? They're not written in stone. Right? Good and evil are the societal things that we construct. One society says this is good, one society says this is evil, right? The Quran, do you claims, unless I misheard something, you said Christians don't share the gospels to other Christians, only because that wouldn't be truly loving one another, because otherwise who are they converting? Oh, so you said the reasons Christians share the gospel is out of love for one another. So why aren't they just sharing it to themselves? If people don't want to hear it, people don't have to hear it. Christians come into the space all the time to try to spread the gospel, right? So when I've heard this all before, I have read the Bible several times. I have understood the Bible to much more degrees than when I was a Christian, right? Is it truly loving to try to be like, hey, my beliefs are superior automatically to yours? And then when it's shown out that it is delusional and has, Christian societies don't do very well. Nor do, Christian-led theocracies have historically harmed everybody that was under them. Secular societies have always been shown to be better than Christian ones. You have no whimsy. You're saying I have no whimsy? I have whimsy. Please be open. I doubt you are, but please be open. Okay. Oh, piss off! Christians want to share the gospel to others because they want to be in heaven with them. That's why it's out of love. Like, I love and respect you, and I want to see you in heaven. And I don't think heaven exists. And I appreciate the nice thought. But heaven doesn't exist. God doesn't exist. At least it's unlikely. I could imagine a world where it does exist, but even then, your concept of heaven and hell, a lot of concepts of heaven and hell are horrifyingly eldritch. Right? Horrifyingly eldritch. And horrifyingly horrible. Right? Horrifying. But you are judging societies based on opinion of good and evil. It seems there is actually a better good and evil system than other. The closer you come to it, the better it is. Yes and to know it. Some societies are better living for the people that are in there, right? The people do better. The people live more happier. People report living happier and more fulfilled lives, right? That doesn't make it objective. That just means that we have created a better system, right? Just because, is a hammer objectively better because we have added a claw to it? Yes and no. Like, it is better for certain things, but not better for other things. Right? I like democracy, and I feel like democracy should always be protected and is better for the people. But in like a crisis situation with only a few groups of people surviving, in like a post-apocalypse zombie apocalypse, a few people, is a democracy always going to be something that is going to be good for that? Maybe? Maybe? Sometimes not. Depends on the democracy. Things can be better. Everything can be a hammer. Yeah. So what is objectively the best hammer? Some hammers are better than others, but what is objectively the best hammer? There is none. Whatever is within reach. But judging the Bible on good and evil seems weird. How can you claim unfairness, for example, in genocide? Because it is unfair. It's delusional to think that genocide is ever okay. The reason being is your right to genocide comes at the cost of other people's, ability to do things, right? Do you think that your ability to do things should outstrip other people's ability to do things? Do you think that do you think that genocide is okay? Because you can't say genocide is okay if you're. You can't say genocide is bad if you believe that the Bible is okay. You can't. At least you can't say that the genocide is always bad. Because your God did it. And to me, it's delusional to think that those two things can be true at the same time. In fact, those two things being true at the same time, not even just to me, it is logically delusional to think that those two things at the same time can be true. Okay, this is stupid. Holy crap, I have the whole rednecks! Okay, come on. This sucks. Why did this become so much harder? How did this become so much harder? Help. Holy crap. So you base on delusional? If something is delusional, I don't think you should be following it. It is delusional to hold the idea that genocide can be okay. Because if it is placed back onto you, you don't think that's okay. Unless somehow you think that genocide is okay and genocide on you is okay. In which case, that's not a delusional thing, but that leads to a zero net gain. Right? Nothing is gained from that. But even then, in that sense, since when you think that it's okay to be done onto you, even if that's the case, where you think it's okay to be done onto you, if other people don't want it to be done onto them, it shouldn't be done onto them. Hi, Frightful. Right? Genocide breaks the golden rule. Hello, Freddy Fazbear, thank you. What y'all talking about? Apparently my judging the Bible on good and evil seems weird. Because I don't have an objective moral ground. Freddy Fazbear has said I have a nice shirt, yes. I am dying repeatedly. This is difficult. I'm going to go to Riverside, and maybe things will change. I doubt it, but I hope so. Right? Jesus' golden rule violates genocide. Wait, what'd you say about the Bible? I got confused from seeing Freddy Fazbear. Is it that easy? Anyways, they're saying since I do not have an objective standard of good and evil, I cannot judge God's ability to do genocide. What I'm saying is genocide, doing genocide at all is delusional. So you say it is illogical, but still say it is wrong. Is it illogical or is it just bad? Illogical and bad. It can be illogical. No one to play Zelda with, right? It is illogical and it is bad within the context of secular humanism. Right? I am a secular humanist. I work based off the idea of working together to create a better things, right? I don't think there's an objective good or bad, but working together to create better systems so that everybody can live a more happier and healthier life. Because by doing that, it makes everybody else have a happier and healthier life, and it stacks onto each other ad infinitum, regardless of people's personal beliefs. It is a better society. Certainly better than certainly shown to be better. Certainly shown to be better than Christian theocracies. And so far, I have yet to find a society that does better for the most amount of people than that. I don't think that's objective, right? It is just the next step in how our societies have evolved, hopefully. Right? Think about it like this. So you claim secular humanism is not evil, but what do you base it on? Logic? I base it on... there is nothing to base it on, right? Because they are objective. There's no such thing as objective, right? I can try to base it off logic a little bit, right? I can use logic to say that it's good, like that it works. But also, I'm just saying that based on the demonstration of it, it works, right? Based on the demonstration of how these societies play out, it works. And it works better than things in the past. My bread tried to kill me. I'm very sorry, Frightful. It works. For now. I don't claim that it is the singular best thing, but something that we got. Do you think Canadians should be deported to Canada if they come into US illegally? Sure, but that doesn't happen very often. I mean, I did see a case where this Canadian wanted to believe in America, make America great again. And then he got deported to Canada because he didn't have the right visa. That was really funny. He's just like, but I am a true American. That was funny. But you need some standard. This is evil, this is good. And that's my standard. I told you what the standard is, right? For example, special, think about it this way. If you play a board game, right, there are the rules listed to play the board game. In a secular humanist society, these are the rules to play the game. If you violate the rules, here's what we get. Here's what we have. This is what should happen, But if you follow the rules, everybody can enjoy play the game. The rules are not based on some objective understanding. The rules are based on, hey, how does this work for us? Sometimes we have to change the rules to make it so that everybody can play fairly and better, and have more enjoyment while playing the game. It's not based on objective good or bad. It's like, hey, this isn't working for us for this game. Why isn't it? Let's discuss it. Let's figure out how we can make the game better for everybody. But whose rules the rules? Everybody. The society that works with it. The rules are open-ended enough to be able to be changed. Anyways, that's one way to look at it. And let's hope I can survive this again, because holy crap. I don't know if they changed the zombie spawning mechanics, but there's a lot of zombies on very high zombie settings. I don't get a break as soon as I spawn. Should Mexicans be allowed to enter Canada legally for asylum? Why? Why should they? Are their country going through war right now? Morality is faith-based, because without that, it would be chaos. Morality doesn't have to be faith. Oof. Some people say it's faith-based. Morality is already chaotic by its nature. Yeah, morality doesn't have to. Some morality is faith-based, but morality is chaotic to begin with. Right? Morality is already chaotic. You go to one part of the world, this thing is bad. Eating pork is bad. You go to another part of the world, eating pork is good. You go to a different part of the world, you know, marrying minors is perfectly acceptable. Go to another place, marrying minors is some of the worst things you can do. You have to have faith that people will follow the rules. No, faith, okay. Faith is believing things without evidence. Trust is believing things with evidence. You trust people will follow the rules because you both have reasons to follow the rules. Faith and trust are two different things. You cannot conflate both of them together. Holy shiza. This is bad. Do you think morality is a product of evolution? I'd say morality is a product of, long-term thought, which is a product of evolution, so yes and no. Right? Is a product of consciousness, so therefore it's a product of... You can't be serious. Why did the house alarm get tripped? Trust implies that you already have an understanding with someone. Faith is believing people will follow them without asking. That's not true. That's not true. I want people to ask about secular humanism and understand it so that it can become better. Right? Secular humanism is, like, I want it to become better. Secular humanism is not, like, it's an open-ended question that can help us answer certain things over time. The game looks like Canada? Why does it look like Canada? This is in Kentucky, canonically. I am Canadian, I hope you know this. I love Canada. Are you a sovereign citizen? I'm Canadian. I'm Canadian. Don't be racist. I am a building. Don't be racist. I am a building. Yeah. Just in general, don't be racist. That's a good rule of thumb. Actually, yeah. Rule of thumb. Don't be racist. No, I am not a sovereign citizen. Is this low-budget GTA? This is Project Zomboid. A fairly realistic zombie apocalypse survival simulator. And I might have finally found a way to survive this settings, because right now I am currently dealing with a lot of zombies. It's a shame, you being Canadian like they're being invaded right now. Canada isn't being invaded. Our most concerning person to our autonomy right now is the guys to our south. Fucking Trump is our most concerning aspect to our autonomy. If you're thinking that if you think immigration is a form of invasion, then I'm sorry, you do not understand what immigration's about. And you, yeah. Oh, you can't be serious. Okay, come on, game. Can I get a moment to relax just a wee bit? Why was there a massive crowd of zombies there? I think your own country is your worst enemy because you have rights until you don't. That's why a country that tries to remove rights from one group of people is very dangerous. Any idea where you're trying to remove rights from one group of people is inherently a dangerous and flawed thing. Christian nationalism tends to be evil. Tends to be. Christian nationalism is evil. Any type of nationalism is. Canada wishes it had American freedom. Wait, do I have to get the copy pasta? Green text. Christian nationalist that was being funded by leftist organization? Excuse me? I think Poland is a Christian nationalist nation and they have a way racist problem. Yeah, I mean, Christian nationalism is always bad. Oh, yeah. Okay. Legal drinking, smoking, gambling age is 18. Weed is legal. Prostitution is de facto legal. No prison labor or private prisons. All police departments have required civilian oversight. Is this the true land of the free? I'm sorry. I'd much rather live in... Actually, I'm not really that sorry. I'd much rather live in Canada than in the US, especially over the last 10 years of what the Americans have devolved into. Or, like, a large parts of America has devolved into. Laughing like Pinocchio? Well, because this person said Canada wishes it had American freedom. What? We are pretty happy with what we have. It's why we voted the way we did in the latest federal election. Things are outlawed for a reason, usually them being bad. Do you think weed is bad? Do you think weed is bad? Do you think school shootings are good? Do you think police departments required civilian oversight? Do you think that you having prison labor or private prisons is good? See, knowing the stuff he's saying, he does think that. Oh, and if he does say that, then we get to like laugh at him even more because of how delusional they are. Live or ban, make your choice. I like live. Hi, Pillow. Good to see you. We were just talking about Poland. Really? Yes. Slightly. Oh, piss! Poland has a lot of Polish people. Indeed they do. Not enough Poles, though. Oh, kurwa. Oh, I'm dead. Joseph Bird. You don't understand that America is divided into their own counties where they can harbor what they want. I am fully aware of how the American political situation works. I am very aware. I am Canadian. Unfortunately, as a Canadian, we have to be worried about what America does, because whatever America does will and can affect us. Look at the 08 recession. Do you believe in objective evil? No. I don't believe in objective morality whatsoever. I am a pole dancer. I am well aware of how the American how the American system works in terms of how states works and all that sort of stuff. But once again, do you think that weed is bad? Do you think that having prison labor or private prisons in your country is good? I believe in objective objects, yeah. Look at cubes. Yeah, I got a cube right here, actually. Dice. Cube. Ugh. I'm switching to a different game. I've got to play something else. I've got to play something else. This game is getting too hard on me. I'm going to switch to Slay the Spire 2 and lose even more. But then at least I get to have fun while losing. One fucker is my nephew. People ruin their life over weed. Isn't that bad? People decided to people have ruined their life. People have ruined their lives to smoking. People have died by drinking water. Yeah, if you have too much, of course things are going to be bad. I do not smoke weed, actually. But I'm just pointing out the nonsensical of their argument. You should. You'd be cooler. Really? Says you, the least cool man in this entire chat. I will eventually make this scythe work. Eventually. Eventually this scythe will work. Then you have no idea what weed is if you've never had it. Did he just say that a Canadian has no idea what weed is? I can spell it almost every single day by just existing, and I don't know what weed is? Really? Really? I've never had a gun and I know what gun is, yeah. Like, come on. Talk about things you have no stakes in. I don't have any stakes. This motherfucker thinks... Good evening. Hello, Kepsi. I'm doing okay. I have a person here that's saying that Americans have... that Canadians wish that they had American freedoms. And I'm just sitting there like, that's funny. I got to Ascension 5 today. Nice! Well done. It only gets worse from here. Would you like to discuss the problem of evil, Joseph Burton? I mean, I've already discussed it at length over the past 2 days with Special. But yeah, the problem of evil is one of the reasons why one of the reasons. I bet Canadians now wish they were away from America right now. Kind of. I'll take a spur. No content and your only engagement is this chat. No content and your only engagement is this chat. Excuse me? I've been putting out Aqua's thoughts. That's new content. It's been fun. I'm always good. Actively playing a game and talking? Yeah, it's kind of funny. I mean, it kind of fits in with the whole American delusional archetype he's got going on for him. Americans are very silly. Especially MAGA Americans. They're, like, dangerously silly. Still lost at the heart, though. Maybe one day. Oh, you're still playing Slay the Spire 1. Fair enough. Well, good luck to you. You'll get there. MAGA is terrifying, not because I'm scared of them, because I'm scared of how stupid they are. I don't like debating them. I can't win. They won't let me. Well, that's the problem with debating MAGA. It's just like... How does it go? You can't debate stupid because they will they will beat you with their own stupidity. They'll beat you with experience. This reeks of rage bait. Kind of. Jesus loves you, Logan Slater. I mean, he's kind of dead, so I don't think so, but I appreciate the thought. If Jesus loves me, why is he dead? Give me him. I want to see him. I've got a few things to say to him, too. Why, for the love of God, did you not say that slavery is bad? Like, directly. Could I get an explanation for that, Jesus? Please? Anyways, I'm losing here on purpose. Man, I like to fully finish a game before moving on. So if I don't beat it before GTA 6 comes, I'll leave for a while. Fair enough. I love what Jesus stands for. Sometimes. Holy shit! Okay. My take is that given evil exists and previous sufferings happen, it's simply better to believe in God who permits evil temporarily than to withdraw into evil without deliverance. What do you think? I have problems with that idea simply just because if God is all-powerful, all-knowing, and all-loving, he doesn't have to tolerate temporary evil. Yeah. He doesn't, you don't have to tolerate evil. And don't say, I know the next question to come up immediately is, but my free will. If you are all-powerful, all-knowing, and all-loving, you can, it is not taking away someone's free will to stop them from suffering. It is not free will to stop them from suffering. I am not preventing someone's free will by stopping them. Also, if he is all-powerful, all-knowing, and all-loving, he could create a world where evil never has a chance to even be a thing. So there's two lines of reasoning for why free will argument just fails every single time. Would you go to hell for another person? Depends on the person. Depends on the hell. Depends on the hell. The loser created this dumb doctrine. I'm making chocolate chip cookies? Oh, you're a good femboy. I mean, what? I mean, what? I do find it funny how some people choose to believe a 2,000-year-old book over modern science. Femboy where? Pillowful is Polish, so he has to be a femboy, legally speaking. 4 times 4, 16. Yesterday, my court. Oh, how nice of him. Let me ask you, forget what should be. We are definitely stuck with evil, so there's only two options. Either God exists and permit evil, or there is no God. Which is better? There is no God. Because if there is an all-powerful, all-knowing, all-loving God, or because if there is a God, he cannot be all-loving, all-knowing, all-powerful. Because evil exists. And I don't want a God like that to exist. MAGA is just Scientology for Republicans. That's kind of funny. At the top of Scientology, there is a boss fight with Tom Cruise. Damn. Feel free to use that. It's funny. I like it. Flick Flack, Cloak and Dagger. I'll take a Flick Flack. If you rub your knuckles together, absolutely nothing happens. But yeah, I definitely don't want to be living in a world where God exists and evil exists. Because that means that God cannot be good. Or cannot be all-powerful. In which case, why would I worship them? You need to collect all the religious badges before you can fight them, though! Can God be ambivalent? I mean, he could, but that gives me all the more reason to be like, I don't want to worship. I wouldn't worship a god that is ambivalent, right? They scammed so much money out of Tom Cruise. At least they could do is build a statue of him. Uh-oh. Can God be in between religions right now? Give him a break. Man, I'm not getting lucky here. Okay, next turn we should win, maybe? Deadly Poison is a poison card. Believe it or not, poison with accelerant is pretty good. Permafrost is also pretty good. I think not believing in individual just opinion is morally wrong. There are some things like torture that are evil. Sure, but... But surely a god who permits suffering and temporality for some mysterious reason is preferable to suffering and then certain annihilation. At least we'd have suffered for something, right? Would you rather suffer for a god's ego? Would you rather suffer and not know, or would you rather and suffer and be like, this is it? This is it. This is fine. I am ready for this. I'd much rather be fine with not knowing than knowing a god existing has made me suffer and wouldn't tell me the reason why. That sounds maddeningly infuriating. That sounds horrifyingly horrible. That sounds like something that Am would do from I Have No Mouth But I Must Scream. That sounds like something that Am would do from I Have No Mouth But I Must Scream. It's just like, you must temporarily suffer for me. I won't tell you the reason why. Am is surprisingly close to the Christian God. Everyone suffer equally. Respect to you for the discussion. Have a good day. Have a good one, Joseph. This is pretty good. Hello, Terry Eel. Odin's ancestor. Oh, does it work? It might not work. nightmare. Bro, answer my question. What do you think? Bro, if you have an ant farm and some ants kills himself, who is a perpetrator of a crime? Since crime is a human invention, no crime has been committed. Done. Look, the hardest thing on the planet is to go suffering. Does it mean it is the worst thing there is? Maybe saying goodbye to God is much more evil? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. I'd say saying goodbye to God has helped me immensely. Managed to get Ascension 5 with the Poison Hero. I know last time you said the Orb one was much easier, but I just enjoyed tripling. No. The Defect is the hardest one to win with. The Watcher is the easiest one to win with. Silent is the next. The Poison one is the next one, and then Ironclad, and then yeah. I'm just debating whether I take this Nightmare. It's so hard for me to play. Ooh, but I should take this Bouncing Flask. I could buy this Oddly Smooth Stone. I'm a big fan of oddly smooth stones. He is probably the hardest one to get working. Soulfish. God sprinkled my chocolate chip cookies with his invention of time. Oh, nice. In your mouth? Nice. We have beaten the Soulfish. Maybe a personal question. Did you converse with God when you were as a JAW? I tried. I believed I was. I don't think I was, actually. Okay. Oh, okay. I was hoping that we could get something else. Chant all strikes with Teskatara's Ember. I'm going to take this and then focus a lot more on card draw. Left you on red. What do you mean, left me on red? Oh, God, you're talking about God. I mean... Fair enough. Is the cat going to cameo today? He's right there. Do you have a problem with authority? Not necessarily. Would you prefer Marxism or Christianity? I'd much rather socialism over that. Because Christianity has created really bad environments. At least theocracies have. Look at theocratically run governments. I don't want that. They're both... I don't want that. Same color as the blanket? Yes, he is. Socialism is communism. No. Communists are socialists. Other way around, buddy. Socialism is fascism. This guy thinks that North Korea is a democracy because apparently if the name fits. Socialism is apparently fascism. Haven't we had this discussion before? Ignorance is strength. Ugh. How it feels like talking with certain people. National Socialism. Oh my god, the guy thinks that if a person names themselves something, they are automatically that thing. Hi, Crooked. You came at a wonderful time. Oh, Flyer, do you think that Norway, Denmark, Sweden, Finland are fascist? What the hell is going on? This person wants to make the claim that socialism is fascism, which it's not. They're social democrats, they're socialists. That is part of socialism. Right? They take socialistic practices. Hey, Phylan. We're talking about politics, part 2. I do not say equal, I pointed to. Socialism leads to communism or fascism. Both apply ideas from socialism. No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. Both Mussolini and Hitler and the leader of Argentina were firmly against socialism. Firmly against them. Read a history book. Gonna head out. Haven't gotten run for day. Sign up to stuff. Have a good one. See ya, Kepsi. Hidden daggers. I'll take it. I have this really weird synergy between... They applied National Socialist ideas. National Socialist is not socialism. Perón was Argentina's fascist. Correct, yes. I forgot the name he was. But they were against socialism. National Socialism tended to do full-on corporatism. Right? Which is definitely not socialism. Corporatism is a very big difference between socialism. Right? Socialism is the workers having means and access to owning the means of production. Right? That was definitely not Germany. You had wealthy overlords owning the people that owned the people, and then they employed people to work for them, or were given slaves to work under. To have that lukewarm take that fascism is socialism are two very different things. Fascism is weird when it came to its economic policies. Fascism had a little bit of, taking care of, its people, right? That's why, in general, fascists are in the center of the political compass, right? They had policies that protected certain groups of people, right? Certain citizens. And then they also had but then they had full-on corporatism, right? Which were, basically the state said, go out and make this company. And then the person that got into that company that was given that position, whilst technically working for the state, also enriched themselves in the process. So they're not socialist. They were directly in the middle between capitalism and socialism. Individual policies or rhetoric that resembles socialist ideas. Once again, the fascists were kind of in the middle between capitalism and socialism. Remember that socialism is an economic model, not government does stuff. It's an economic model, which can bleed over into also how the government redistributes its wealth too, right? Sometimes also you will take into account how the government redistributes wealth. Nazis criticized uncontrolled capitalism, especially during the Great Depression. Yeah, which is why they were in the center. They also, remember what Hitler said when he said, I think the direct quote is, if the revolution exists, then consider me the revolution against the revolution. If we're talking specifically about Hitler, he hated socialism. He knew, but he also wanted to make sure that he united people to be like, yeah, no, uncontrolled capitalism is bad. You can be a capitalist and say that uncontrolled capitalism is bad too. That doesn't mean anything. Phylan is a capitalist, but he would also say that uncontrolled capitalism is bad. You're an honest person, but on your own worldview, what stops someone else from lying whenever it benefits them? What did you say to them, and why should they listen? Well, at the end of the day, I can't change a person's mind. If they don't accept what I have to say, then they're not going to accept what I have to say. But if they're going to lie whenever it benefits them, I would say that along the idea is like, I would ask them, do you think that you should have the truth for things? Like, do you think you should be able to be lied at? Communist states also provided jobs and social services. That's why I said you also look at sometimes how the state also redistributes wealth. Fascism is in the center. Center full authoritarian. Communism is far left, full authoritarian. Socialism is everything to the left of the political compass, which includes libertarianism, which includes Canada technically, or elements of it. And also the Nordic models as well. I'm not even thinking about what I'm putting in this deck. Uh-oh. I probably should have thought what I was going to put in this deck. Both have socialist ideas. That was my point. Yeah, which is why fascist states is in the center. Nordic model works because it has a Lutheran foundation. No. They didn't need to be religious. You don't need to be religious to say, hey, maybe wealth inequality is bad. I find it funny that that Christians want all of the benefits. They have a strong work ethic and strong workers' rights. Strong workers' rights. Strong labor unions. All based on left models that has nothing to do with Christianity. Nothing to do. And communal prior to socialism, which once again is not based on Christianity. I hate this idea. This idea that Christians are trying to claim that, oh, secularism actually comes from Christian ideals. It's like a father that beats their child every night before bed, and then that child works their ass off every day to be able to get out of the house that they are under, goes to school, gets successful, and then their father gets to say, well, it's because of what I did that allowed them to be able to, allowed them to be able to grow so successfully. No! No! Christian theocracies have beaten down the average person. No! When you say genocide is evil, do you mean it's really wrong, or just that it triggers a strong negative reaction to humans? Because these are very different claims, and you're wielding in one wrong. I think it's wrong based on secular humanism and based on my ideals. It also triggers a strong negative reaction in humans. It does both. When the Nordic countries adopted Lutheranism during the Reformation, it wasn't just a religious shift, it reshaped society. Yeah, and people died during that. that Reformation. State-church model, close relationship between government and social responsibility. Yeah, which is really fucking bad. They don't have that anymore. Is a domino effect after the Reform and Counter-Reform? That's why it's born in the Anglosphere first, but people confuse this, thinks it was born from the church? Yeah. Seen as obligations. Man, I wished Christians had actually done that. Also, you're using ChatGPT. Probably should use something besides that. Why does human flourishing have any special status in the material universe? Because we like it. We don't need too much of a reason to do that. That's the foundation of strong social responsibility we see today. Doesn't come from church. Once again, doesn't come from the church. Did you just say that literacy and education, people needed to read the Bible, came from the church? You mean the same people that murdered people that tried to get the Bible translated? Because it removed the power the church had over the average person? That? Really? I can't tell if you're dumb or just don't realize what you are saying. Or do you just have zero interest in history? Do you understand this is Lutheranism? It's not. You don't know history. That was Catholicism, which they are all based off Christianity. Communal isn't the core of Anglo-Saxon religion, with segregation and purity that increased competence, increase of communion, the force that is more wealthy or educated, you are more exalted or illuminated. Right? You have Lutheranism also, like, basically murdering you if you don't join us, which, do you think that's good? Do you think it's good to do genocide? To make person better? Centuries prior? Not centuries prior, it was during it. Remember that, right? It wasn't centuries prior. Wasn't centuries. Wasn't centuries. It's not as old as you think it is. But do you think it is okay to force a person to join the religion? Do you think it was good that the Christians forcibly converted the Nordic people? Let's talk about Lutheranism if you want. Do you think that's a good thing? Because if you do, you're a racist piece of shit. If you think that converting anybody to your side and your ethics is a good thing, by force is good, you're horrible. Absolutely horrible. Ireland. The cultural foundation Lutheran was already in place 300 years before Marx, so we can argue Marx was influenced by Lutheranism in some regards. Yeah, as a counterpoint. Once again, a child is influenced by their abusive parents and they are successful. Do you think that abuse was good for the child? Also, I find it that AI Flyer, of course. Why wouldn't AI Flyer be using, Feck. I don't have slam play. We'll try this again. I don't understand why people talk more about Christianity when Islam is globally the majority religion. I mean, because we're in the West right now, Christianity holds more of a dominant sway. I think that's pretty much the reason. AI hallucinates sometimes, but for the most part, it gets stuff right. If you're going to say for the most part it gets stuff right, you're already going to have problems. If you're working off sometimes it gets it right, woof. Woof. Uh-oh. Pass. Even the internet can give you wrong information. Yeah, that's why you have to use your head. You have to use your head and decipher, do a whole bunch of other things. You have to work through critical thinking. Trusting AI does not work. Especially with the current models that not only hallucinate, but are literally designed to give you the information you want to hear. If you ask an AI, hey, I'm looking for historical information on this, versus, hey, AI, what is the historical reason to believe this? You're going to get two wildly different answers about the same point in history. Because you have to always combat your bias. When coming to understanding, you have to always go against your bias. Morality is preference. God is wrong to permit evil. Can't be both true. Yes, they totally can. Morality is preference. God is wrong based on my preference. But based on this society's preference. Depends on the model. No. Most models are designed for you to use them. Very few, at least the most popular ones. ChatGPT, which I'm guessing you are using, is the one that is definitely hallucinates. You compare between them. If you're comparing between them and getting different answers and then having to go search through the net, why didn't you just go search through the net? Why didn't you just try to get an understanding and find the actual understanding of the historical things for different things? Hot take. Slay the Spire 2 is not much of an improvement. That is a hot take. And I'm going to have to disagree with you. The fact these animations alone, that's an improvement. But I like how they've redone a lot of the different things. They've redone. I mean, they haven't improved the formula at all. I would say the formula hasn't changed much, but the actual game stuff inside the game is a lot of fun. It's towards politically correctness. It doesn't matter what politically. It doesn't matter. There are other problems. Also, probe yourself wrong. But anyways, AI does not... I do not... anytime anybody throws AI nonsense at me, I do not believe it at first at all. Because if a historian said, hey, you should believe me because I've researched a lot, but sometimes I will get stuff wrong like all the time, right to your face. Gender issues, Cloud is far more honest. Be careful. Here I'm very inclusive. Here, trans rights are people's rights. In my channel, trans rights are people's rights. Because trans people are people. How you identify is how you identify. Sex and gender are two different things. To product placement your lube company? I saw that file. I saw that. I was about to make a point, and then someone decided to talk about trans people. Talk about gender issues. And I'm always immediately on the fence about that. Immediately on the fence. Might be due to Sam's leader. Whatever. Anyways, AI doesn't give me anything that you can't just understand yourself and learn yourself. Okay. We are dead. Come on! Why was my fucking dual cast at the bottom of the deck? Anyways, that right there should tell you, like, everything you need to know about AI. If it's entirely based on the whims of people, is it actually true, any way able to give you truth-seeking information? AI is only taking other people's work, which you can easily just do yourself. Especially if you're using AI to make arguments for you. Which you did. Which you have used AI to make arguments for you. That's a strong card. That's a very strong card. I wish to avoid elites as best as I can. Look at the size of my awesome. Deathbringer is a good card. Doom! Wisp is a card I will take. Doom! Your morals on Judaism, Christian, you were living on borrowed capital? Absolutely not. It is one of the most infuriating things to hear. Because that is the furthest thing from the truth. Our morals came despite Judeo-Christian values. For one, Judeo-Christian values is, Judeo-Christian values are at anathema towards each other. Right? They are anathema towards each other. Do you think the Mosaic Law is something that's a good law to follow today? Right? Oh, but Judaism spawned Christianity. Well, once again, two different things, two different ideas, two different economies, right? If you're going to say that, if you're going to say Judeo-Christian values, then you have completely ignored Zoroastrianism. There's Zoroastrianism, right? Do my morals come from Zoroastrianism because Judaism borrowed it from Zoroastrianism? Right? Does that work? Or is it reality Judeo-Zoroastrian and Christian society? Because if that's the case, that's Persia. That's the Middle East. Like more Asian philosophy. Right? That doesn't work. So, for one, Judeo-Christo is a nonsense term. That's nonsense. Theology stopped slavery, for example, because of human dignity, God's image. Theology also encouraged slavery. The Bible is perfectly fine with slavery. Why tags are so important for them? Anyways. The Bible is perfectly fine with slavery. Always has been. But it was a Christian society that first abolished slavery, right? There were other nations before Christianity involved that said that slavery was wrong. There were other people that were not influenced by Christianity that said slavery was wrong. To own another being. So yes, being informed better would probably be helpful for you. So we have the Persian Empire, right? That I just talked about. We have like that that prohibited the slave trade. What, books? Oof. Honestly, you don't need books to like specific hardcore. I mean, you can. I am not a scholar, right? I learn from science educators or history educators, which they in turn get their information from scholars, right? If you want a few good like people to like look at and like look through their education stuff, Bart Ehrman, pretty good. You have I talked about videos the other day, Data Over Dogma. Those are pretty good. They talk about the actual data and stuff like that. Mini Minuteman is pretty good too. for like history, for certain types of history, archaeology and paleontology and stuff like, well, not paleontology, but archaeology. Because I'm not a scientist, right? And they will recommend books for you to read as well. For elites, eh? Has fringe views. He still has a lot of good fringe views for a Christian. Not the entire scientific. He has some, but there are plenty of scholars and scientists that have fringe views that are well known for each other. Doesn't mean that what he's saying is inherently wrong. He's also talking about actual discussion and history, going against the narrative that the Bible is in anything but inerrant. Theology supported slavery too. It's a double-edged sword, yeah. You can't just say one without admitting the other. It's not like it got rid of it, necessarily, by itself. Blade dance, expose. I'm gonna take this expose and pray. Ehrman often says that historical Jesus likely saw himself as an apocalyptic preacher, not divine in the later theological sense. Yeah, and he has reasons for that. That goes against the Christian narrative, but he has definite reasons for that. It's not like he just came up with them. Remember that the Gospels and the Epistles are the claim. They're the claim, they're not the proof. If they're the proof, then fucking Marvel Comics is the proof that Spider-Man exists. Okay, we have a lot of defense. We need poison or something. I and the Father are one. Yeah, there are reasons that's divinity. Are you sure? Metaphors exist too, bud. Remove the magic, and you may gain an understanding. Remove yourself from the magic. My Lord is not the... my Lord. Are they... what is the translation for it? Is it the same? Once again, the fact that you can have discussions... that you can have discussions that are contrary. Just bad at... I'm sure that you can read ancient Aramaic. Are you good at reading ancient Aramaic? Do you have a degree in being able to read Aramaic? Is my God translated the exact same with the exact same intent and purpose? Really? Are you saying that you know Aramaic that well? Yes, and he didn't immediately die. We all learned that in like 2nd grade. Concept of universe required a theological founding? Yeah, that's nice. Too bad that they can say that however they want, but once again, that's their belief. The Word and the Word was God. Once you don't know the scriptures either, just like Airman. Uh-huh. And it's not like I haven't read the Bible several times. And I don't have to use AI to find specific scriptures. Try to stone Christ for blasphemy? If they did, they would have been successful. It's curious that they never did. Like, they could have done it. They could have done it. They had all the legal right to do it, but they didn't, if that was the case. The point of the matter is, even if, let's say, there's still more work to be done. Let's say there's, and I'm not even saying that's, 100% truth. Because you're not going to be able to find 100% truth for things 2,000 years ago. Right? Because what Bart Ehrman does is he takes the magic out of Jesus. He doesn't make the assumption that Jesus is God. So if you take that assumption out, you can start seeing things in a different light. Also, that's only I believe the account where they only arrested him at night is only in John. Once again, bringing up the idea, because John being the oldest book in the Bible, the latest to be written, will have different ideas. You take the magic out. Take the magic out, and you will have a better understanding of what has happened. You are working off this specific assumption that Jesus is God. Stop assuming that, and you might be able to come to different conclusions, because you're not going to have those same conclusions. Isn't that really cool? Interesting. You really do you believe that he was a historical figure? I've said it before, yes. I am fairly sure that he is a historical figure. But not because the Gospels told me so. Martin Luther and his thesis about the disaster of the human race. Do you deny the Gospels and epistles are historical documents? They are historical in the sense that certain people believe them, but once again, do I think that the accounts revolving around Alexander the Great's divinity to be directly historical? Right? Do you understand how do you determine what is historical then? Pretty fucking simple. What you do is you look for other contextual clues within the time frame of that, right? Basics of history is you look for outside clues, right? What do other nations talk about? What do other nations what do other people say about this? What did the Romans have to say about Jesus? Fun fact, the Romans had very little to say about Jesus until the Christians actually became well known. They didn't really have anything to say. It's kind of weird that a person that could turn water into wine, that brought the dead back to life for a day, yeah, but nothing around the time he was alive. Nothing around that time. All well after the fact, because he wasn't that well known. Right? If you think that the Bible is truly historical and that you're going to use that as the basis for that, Congratulations, Tacitus said he was crucified under Pontius Pilate. One other person. When was Tacitus born? Was born around 56 CE. This guy was born 30 years after the guy died. He was born 20 to 30 years after the guy died. Right? You would have to remove most of history using that argument? No, you don't. You'd use that to remove a lot. Do you think Muhammad cracked the moon, AI flyer? He probably existed. We don't exactly know for sure, but he probably existed. Do you think that Muhammad cracked the moon? Phylan says Buddha's apotheosis. Do you think Buddha's apotheosis was historical? Do you think Arthur's legends were true? Thank you, Phylan. Right? You can't just say, hey, this text says this, so therefore it's true. Do you understand the stupidity of making that argument? So Christ probably existed? Yeah, probably. He probably existed. Remember, we're talking about things from so long ago, right? Do we have more evidence for Socrates or Christ? Christ. But does that make his feats any more believable? We also have tons of evidence for Alexander the Great, who lived way before Jesus. It would be freaking epic if. That's not what the scholars say. They make it clear he definitely existed. Yeah, based on the evidence, he probably did. But, you know, it's not... There's a gradient, right? There are some scholars that don't say that. Majority of scholars... Yeah, majority. The fact that there's even a discussion shows that the fact that you can't just say, hey, this exists, therefore this exists. Right? Ooh, infinite blades. I will take an upgraded infinite blades. I should probably take every power I can. Especially with mummified hand. We have a vast amount of evidence. Cool. Do you have a vast amount of evidence of his miracles? One does not mean the other. Spontaneous remit. This guy brought up spontaneous remission to think that Jesus' healing works. As if we don't have other reasons to think. Have I talked to you before? Are you using a different account to talk to me? Because I remember this guy brought up spontaneous. Not trying to learn is trapped in a loop. Trying to learn is trapped in a loop. Yeah. You've caught yourself in a trap of your own making. As if we don't have reasons to think that spontaneous remission is a non-miracle thing. And even if it if we even make the assumption that it is a miracle thing, that is an ethics nightmare on your deity. So either way, even if you are, if you're not true, but even if you were true, it doesn't help with the fact that I would worship your gods. What is spontaneous remission? Spontaneous remission is at the moment an unexplained moment where cancer goes away. right? There's a lot of different reasons why it could be, but in the moment of it happening, the doctors may not have an explanation at the time as to why it happened. But once again, that just creates a God of the gaps if you're going to say that that's God. I see we failed to be relevant. We did fail. I'll pick up another piercing whale, and I'm going to risk this. Oh God, no. I don't want to fight you. I'm sorry. This was my bad. Science even made pop. We discussed it like a week ago. Yeah, I know. Okay, I just need to do 27 damage. Oh, okay. Blade of Ink is a good card. In the evidence first, a girl came on and said she wished her father had visited and disappeared. The only thing you can say, I don't know if you're lying. What? Okay, I mean, that doesn't mean much. You know that, right? People can claim a whole lot of shit. There's a lot of people making claims all over the place. Please let me draw my piercing whale. Woo! Okay, I might win this. How much you bet that we will get with the Aristotelian Thomism arguments? Oh. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? Ooh, abrasive. I haven't seen abrasive in a long time. I don't have a lot of ways to put it into play. I have Master Planner, but also, again, don't have a lot of ways to put it into play. It's like an abrasive. Transform all strikes in defense. Ooh. Or obtain Wraith form. I mean, you just take a Wraith form, right? We'll take a Wraith form. Nice. Do you know the verse where it says if Israel gets cursed, the curse will backfire or something? Yeah, I'm aware of it. It's similar. It's about the one with Balaam and the donkey. What a weird story. My parents are fighting in the... Cum-filled piglet says, my parents are fighting in the other room. I'm very sorry to hear that. They've been here before. Oh. Wait, oh crap. My thing didn't work. Oh no. There we go. Oh no, they're... Oh wait. There we go. Live chat. I'm very sorry to hear that. Anyways. Here's Wonderwall. Have you seen the pic of a furry crying with the shadow of their parents crying? I have. Gives me a lot of the same energy. Turkish minister cursed Israel and immediately collapsed from a heart attack. Well, that doesn't prove anything. Anyways, thank you, cum-filled piglets. I hope things get better for you. God. I would. Would. Accuracy. I wish I could have my cum-filled piglets. I wish I could have that in my life. I wish I could call someone that. It's funny! Why should I stop laughing? It's funny! The fact that you just say my goals are beyond your understanding. Oh, hell yeah. That was good. Oh. That was brevity. That was some good brevity. What do you think is the hardest thing you ever did? Move on from her. And even then, I am not that successful. I'm still working through that. Leaving a cult, though, was pretty difficult. Not gonna lie. Oh. Another infinite blades. I'll take another accuracy, though. Eternal feather. Ugh. Dorito. How much accuracies does this deck have? When you have 3 upgraded accuracies, your shivs do a lot. Tingsha, hello. Do you have friends? Yes. Unfortunately, Saberith is one of them. I agree. Unfortunately, Saberith is one of them. And Rila is unfortunately one of them as well. You said that on the internet, now it's out there forever. Yeah, I know, right? It's the bees! The bees is gonna murder itself. The bees have been murdered. Reflex. Probably not. I'd like to take Reflex. But I don't how I just have shivs and powers. Jesus Christ. This is a strong build. Tracking. Probably. I can take tracking, I think. I'm very sure I can take tracking. Oh god, it's Vaku. Oh, Vaku, can you take the wheel? Oh, Vaku. Oh, Vaku. Can you take the wheel? Ooh. I'm going to trust Vaku. Vaku, take the wheel. Vaku. Let us see if this is suicide. We're gonna find out real fucking quick how much of us feels like it'll do a better job than Jesus. Look at this face. Look at that face. This guy knows what's best for you. Vaku. Vaku, take the wheel. I mean... Not the worst, not the best. Could have been better. Take another block. Trade bronze scale, tuning fork for... I'll take a centennial puzzle, more card draw. Especially for my second term, because I'm going to have to deal with this. Vaku, take the wheel! Vaku, 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 Vaku. Actually, this might actually be okay. Just don't play Wraith Form. Oh, thank God. Do you have moral servitude that you are the most good... I do not think I'm the most good person out there. I wished I was, but I don't think I'm the most good person out there. I try my best, and that's the only thing that can be expected of people. I did not calculate that properly. Are you the bestest boy for Sky Daddy? Listen. You listen here, you little shit. Another infinite blades. Ghost Seed strikes and defense, gain ethereal. Kinda interesting. I could take that. Then another one of these. Kind of useless. Vaku, take the wheel! Vaku, take the wheel! Not bad. Being said could be printed, true, but are they actually mine? It's said on your stream. True, but like, you can't be like, hey, I said something really cool. We should put that on a shirt. Try to put that on a shirt. Okay, we're gonna learn if Vaku can take the wheel hard enough against this. Oh god. Vaku, I'm gonna need you to lock the feck in right now. Vaku! Saving the fucking day! Alright, here we go! Fucking Vaku being sexual style, I like it. Vaku coming in sexual style. Vaku knows what's up. I can't believe we're winning with a silent Vaku deck. I find that actually kind of hard to believe. Do you have a consciousness? I think so. Oh, Vaku, Vaku, please. Please. No! Vaku! Baku has failed us. Baku has failed us. However, we might be able to kill this turn. Or kill next turn. Okay. Saline solution for the eye. I'll take this untouchable. Now that I have more card discard. Vaku! Vaku, what are you doing? Vaku! Fucking Vaku. What are you doing? What are you doing? Stop! So you would believe you are bad when killing another being? It depends on the context. There's a lot of different context out there too, right? Hidden daggers. I'm gonna take the leaping strikes. It's a Bentley! Hello. Been a little while. Oh god! Okay, we should be okay though, right? We should be okay, right? We should be okay, right? Because Vaku doesn't take my first turn. Like, he takes my first turn, but he's going to play it playing a lot of powers, right? Yeah. Okay, you know what? This is the best we can hope for. Easiest door maker of my fucking life. Do you still love your father even though he did you wrong? I mean, I've forgiven my father for what he did to me as a child, not for what he's currently doing to me currently. Anyways, Vaku, take the wheel. Don't play Wraith form right now, please. Thank you, Vaku. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. I definitely want to play this. Just because of the, like, some days I love AI, check your Discord memes. I don't! Oh, God. This sucks. Oh, wait, this is not as bad as I thought it was. What am I looking at? Are you being the bestest boy for Skype? Now I kind of do want that on his shirts. Now I kind of do want that on his shirts. I kind of do want that on a shirt now. Are you being the bestest boy for Sky Daddy? Shunning is not a good thing in my play. Everyone say Christian, but my father would not shun. Is shunning a thing they do? Yeah, that's like their core thing that they do. Also, Ascension 10 win. We won. We won based on the power of Mummified Hand and Frozen Egg. And then we picked up every single power we got, and it turns out we picked up, like, a bunch of accuracies, which makes our shivs do absurd amounts of damage. When your shivs are doing 44 damage for 0 mana, and you are 0 energy, and you are generating 2 of them for free every turn, on top of the many others you can do, plus with vulnerable sometimes being a thing, is pretty good. And then we got Wraith Form too. We killed a lot of elites. We killed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elites there. 5. No, we killed 4 elites. We killed 4 elites in the first act, which was big, and then we killed like another 4, or no, we killed another 3, and then we killed another 2 in the last one. So we had a lot of relics too. We had some strong relics too. Basically, Mummified Hand with Frozen Egg was ridiculous. Like, that's what won us run. Eternal Feather was nice. Helped heal us when we went to the campsites. The Bag of Marbles came early. Happy Flower came in clutch a few times. Bronze Scales was also really nice. Tink Show was could be funner. Vaku playing for us was really fun. It worked because our first 2 cards were always going to be Infinite Blades, and since we knew that we always wanted to play Infinite Blades, means he could play basically my entire hand, so it's not like he could play any differently than me. He wasn't going to do much different. There was only like one time where he played in the wrong order. Only the one time. But then I had 4 energy to play with, and that was more than enough energy to do all the other bullshit that I wanted to do. Yeah. Good win. We also didn't have to fight Test Subject. I feel like if we had to fight Test Subject, we would have lost. Why do they shun? Because it's for the purity of the congregation. That's the thing they claim. Killed 9 or more elites, and we won a run at under 40 minutes. Not bad. I know it's AI bullshit, but I'm pinning that. That's so good. It's so fucking good. Oh, 10 viewers, holy fuck. Why are 10 people watching me? What the Aqua supports AI, get him? Listen, in this one particular instance, it gives me an idea to give, like, merch. JWs are very brainwashed, like disgustingly brainwashed. I mean, that's cults in general. Cults are intended to brainwash you. But if I was to make like actual merch of this, I'd pay an actual artist to make the merch. But it is pretty fucking funny. I don't support AI art in any way. I'll do it. Do what? You'll do what? You'll do what, IU? The art? Oh, man. I mean, I'd pay you. I can't pay you right now, but I'll do it eventually. Like, I wouldn't pay, I can't pay you right now. When I get the money, then I'll do it. Till then, I'll wait. What woke you up to leave the cult? For me, it was COVID giving me the ability to start critically thinking. I had the time. I was so super, super, super busy. And then everything came to a halting stop, and then I finally could start questioning things, and then was able to actually start doing it. Easiest way to wake up is to read the Bible. Yeah, I read the Bible one last time. Give me a case of Monster and some cookies. We can talk about that another time. I'm still on the end of trying to make sure that I'll do merch eventually. I just don't think I'm that cool enough right now to actually do merch. Glad you all got that out. Oh, thank you. I also don't exactly know what, like, I want to, like, I love axolotls, and I've always had axolotl theming, but, like, I also have the god cat. Yeah. So it's just like, what do I do? It's, like, I'm stuck between the god cat and my axolotls. Either that or I just get axolotls and then we're good. Anyways, I think we are going to end stream today. I've been streaming for 3 hours. 3.5 hours. I'm actually motivated to work on it. The art that I would want right now is art of the current campaign we're playing. Like, of the characters. That's what I want. I want art of the current characters. Towel in a box is like cat heaven. Yeah. He's very happy. Yeah. Oh, you are so noisy right now. Alright. You want a group picture style artwork? We'll see. Okay. We can also talk about that later. I'm also going to be ending stream anyways. For those of you on YouTube, the show is now over. But for those of you on Twitch, the show may not be over. I also got to set up for a D&D tonight. Well, not D&D, Starfighter. Oh! Starfighter tonight. So yeah. Let's go find someone to raid. It's going to cost a lot of monster. Fair enough. Is anybody I know... Okay, well, I don't really know. Similar or smaller size. Bahumet mine. Mommy Fox VTuber. Sure, why not? I'm sure the Polycule will love them. As always, thank you so much for watching the stream. I really appreciate it all. I hope that you all have a fantastic evening, and until next time, stay safe, sleep well, and do not let the bed bugs bite. And I'm not going to answer that IU to escape the allegations. Bye for now!
Yo, Aqua. Thank you for the raid. Wait, what is that profile? Because that's the axolotl. That's so cute.
Oh,
Look
that's
at
very
Stream
cute.
of School.
Love
You were
axolotls.
doing Slate Aspire too. Oh. Yeah, they're really cute.